Welcome back, folks, to another edition of BC Renovation Magazine. In this video, I'm going to show you how I put together this wood beam up here. If you're interested in that, stick around. Alright folks, so I've started here and I've got a couple boards nailed up. I'm just going to kind of show you how this is going. So there you can see this. We still got the side of the 2x6 up there, so I'm going to be cutting a piece to put on that side yet. So this is just the bottom piece, this is the first piece. And I've got 8-foot boards, and I've got so I've got 16 feet done there. You can just see how this is coming along there. Alright, I'll get you up a little closer. Alright, so these are just butt joints, nothing fancy about this, folks. Anybody can do this. And I'm using 2-inch pins here, and I'll be nailing one on each side of the board, like kind of bing bang, roughly every 16 inches down the beam. That will be lots to hold it. And so I'm just using my 18 gauge nailer here, this guy, with a 2-inch pin in my magazine here. You don't have to have an air nailer. Again, if you just have you can nail it on with nails and a hammer. It just takes a little longer. Having the air nailer really speeds it up. So now the reason that I pre-finished these boards is because I used a semi-transparent oil stain on it. And you can see we have this gleaming white ceiling up there, and we've got first coat of paint on our walls there. So the stain is quite thin. It has a tendency to sort of splash, even if you're using a brush or whatever. And so I didn't want to, have that. I didn't want to be staining up against my nice clean white ceiling. So that's why everything is pre-finished. That's why I do it that way. And I don't have to paint over my head. It was much easier to do it, outside on the on the sawhorses there, and just it was just much easier, cleaner to do it that way. So now these boards, like I said, these are fence boards. Okay, these are actually designed to go between 8-foot posts horizontally. And so this board is it's milled on one side, so this side is a smooth finish, and on the other side it's a rough finish. So I had my choice of how which side I wanted to have out. So if I was going for a more refined look, I would have put the smooth side out. I'm going for more of a rustic look. I like the rustic look, and so I've put the rough side out. So I'm just going to continue on here now and finish the bottom side of this board right to the other wall here. I'm gonna have to take my security camera down and relocate it somewhere else, but once I get that bottom board on there, then then I'll be ripping the pieces for the side and putting the sides on. So this goes really quick, folks. It's an easy job. It's a fun job. It looks awesome when it's done. Anybody can do this. It's really simple to do, but it's a really cool little project that adds a lot to your house. And also, I'm just squaring up the ends on my miter saw here. I'm just squaring up each end. I'm not cutting anything to length. I'm just, it's just random, whatever it is. And there's a joint there. You can barely see it because we're using the dark stain. But this next board's going to go in there, and once I have it in, then I'll have to measure the last little piece that goes in there. But yeah, just sometimes from the mill, these aren't exactly square, so you just want to square them up somehow. I'm just again using the miter saw. And then once I make my my cut, I'm just taking, you can see I've just dabbed a bit of stain, that stain on the end there, just in case any edges of that show there. We won't have a bright edge there. And this is the product that I'm using. So again, I'm using a semi-transparent wood stain, and this is an oil-based material, and I'll be staining my decks with this same stuff. So the shutters on the outside and the decks, everything is this color. Now this is I know we have a lot of viewers from the United States, and this is a product that I believe is only available in Canada, the brand. But it's an exterior oil semi-transparent stain. If you put a solid stain on, you lose the wood grain effect that you can see here. It's kind of more like paint. So if you use the semi-transparent, you know, you get the wood grain showing through. The reason that I like to use oil, so this actually has linseed oil in it, and you know, it's an exterior grade stain. I'm using it on the inside just because you know, I have it. I don't want to go, I don't need to go and buy a separate stain, you know, for you know, just to do the beam on the inside. Again, all this wood, this accent wood, inside, outside, all going to be the same. And since I'm, you know, using the outside wood on the shutters there, I want to have an exterior grade product. So if you were just doing a beam, you could do it, you know, with like a water-based stain would be just fine. All right, folks, so I've got the bottom of the beam all covered there, and my last joint was right here, okay, right there, and so I had to fit in this last piece. So now I'm going back with the side pieces, and so I want to stagger my joint. So now my joint's going to be up there in the sides, and back here it's over here. So we're, you know, we're overlapping the joints. So the side piece now is a piece of the 1x6, the same material that I used on the bottom up there. And what I've done is I just, you know, I've just gone on my table saw here and basically ripped this piece in half, you know, a piece of 1x6 in half, to give me these pieces that are now 2.5 inches wide. All right. Now, when I painted these pieces, I painted around back underneath the edge. Just stain is actually the right term to use for that. And the reason that I did that is because you can see here that I'm hanging the side piece about 1/2 inch below the bottom of that. All right, so that gives us that look. Now, there's a couple reasons that I'm doing that. The main reason is I wanted to give this a little bit more thickness without, you know, building that up. And by doing this kind of a joint here, it's a very easy joint. All right, so this is rough lumber. You know, I've got a rough piece of 2x6 up there. You know, I could have, you know, tried you know, to miter this edge and miter this edge and bring them together out here in the corner on a miter, but that's really difficult to do when you have such rough lumber, uneven ceilings. You know, it becomes pretty hard to do that. If you do it this way, you know, any discrepancies you may have are taken up because you got a little bit of space there to take care of that. And you know, just it's sort of that rustic look, and it's very easy to do. This is so easy to do. It's just simply cutting and nailing, you know, straight cuts. There's no miter cuts. There's nothing here. It's just so simple. Anybody could do this. You don't need a lot of skill. You don't need a lot of tools to do that. So now I'm just going to go ahead. You can see, you know, underneath here is the old 2x6, right? So that was up there. So what I'm doing now is nailing with my 2.5 inch pins. I'm nailing through here into the 2x6, okay? Through there into the 2x6, and then from here into here, all right? So I'm nailing this piece and this piece together, and if we have any shrinkage in this material, this joint, you know, where the bottom meets the side should stay, you know, should stay tight. If it does open up a little bit, again, I'm not worried about it. It's a rustic thing. You know, we're purposely making this look rustic, and so if there's little imperfections, you know, along the way, it doesn't matter. It's kind of the look that we're going for. All right, so I'm just gonna now finish this down, and I'll bring you back when it's all done. All right, folks, so my little beam project here is done. Again, you know, this is a really easy project. I spent maybe 3 hours on this, not including the painting, but now you can see how nice it looks without, you know, with it painted. It's all pre-finished, you know. Now, you know, we have a nice edge along there where the beam meets the new white ceiling. You know, we're not trying to paint up against there, so you know that pre-painting really helps. So it's a bit dusty. I'll just have to take my vacuum and just vacuum it off there. But it's just a bit dusty from working on it. But yeah, this is how it looks. And so we've got ourselves one rustic beam here. All right, so that knocks another thing off the to-do list. And up next, I think up next we're going to be doing bifold doors on the closets. I think that's what's up next. So that next video should be on that one, unless I have a little change of plans on here. I'm having to sort of juggle my materials a little bit. I can't get everything kind of on the timeline that I want. My cabinets were just sorted out yesterday, so they will be here in a couple of weeks, and looking forward to that video. I'm going to show you how to put together flat pack cabinets. They're going to come in flat pack, sort of an IKEA style. They're not IKEA cabinets, but sort of that style where you buy them in a flat pack and you have to assemble them. So we're going to be assembling them and then installing them. But until we get those, we're going to keep working away here, and I think up next is going to be those closet doors. So stay tuned, folks. More videos coming. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.